All right, guys, in this episode of DockSide TV, we're going to be fishing very low water under very dirty water conditions also. Whenever we're doing this, we're typically targeting redfish, and our favorite product to use whenever we're fishing these very dirty water situations is our Vortex shads. We have them both in the purple haze and the Spartacus are probably our two favorite dirty water colors. And on this episode, we stayed with the purple haze most of the day and really wore the redfish out one after another. Another thing that we did is we dropped it down from going with a lot of 3/8 and 1/2 ounce in the previous episode. Since we were in the marsh, a little bit shallower water, we dropped down to the 5/16 golden eye, and we caught redfish all day in these low water conditions. And these will be the items in this month's Matrix bait box. And enjoy this episode of DockSide TV, learning how to catch redfish under some of the worst conditions Mother Nature has to offer. Alright guys, what we're doing today, as you can see, we're in our full wintertime gear. We got incredibly low water. We're just going to change it up. I'm getting on some redfish action. We go over this all the time this time of year in the dead of the winter on DockSide TV on how redfish gang up and pile up when the water's dead low and really cold. Alright, what you want to do when you're trying to target reds in these windy bayous and meat duck ponds, I typically throw up towards the banks. You know, it's not real deep water fishing because the water's so low. I'm just going to dribble it off the banks, or when I'm at an area that actually where the pond meets the bayou that we're in, it's the same thing. It's a little pontotrain pop. We're not going to pop the heck out the lure. We're going to just make little small pops. We don't need to elevate the lure off the bottom very much, as these reds are stuck on the bottom. They bury themselves in the mud. They get really cold this time of year. They're still aggressive, but they're not going to be floating high like they do in the summer. They're buried to the bottom. It's just easy little bounces off the bottom. And you know, a lot of times they hit it really hard. You wouldn't think they're down there freezing. You know, when you grab one of these reds in the winter, and this is what tells me what to do, I'll grab a red that I catch. I'll feel how cold it is. Sometimes they'll have leeches on their bellies, mud on their bellies. You can tell when these fish are bunkered down for the winter. And when they are, they're grouped up. They're not going to be in sync. As you can see right here, we got a blow through where this duck pond is emptying into this bayou. These are the kind of things you want to target and hone in on. Not everyone's obviously going to have reds, but if they're not going to just have one. They're going to either have none or 10 or 20. You can see that water blowing through there, coming around that little point. Pretty shallow right there. It's probably going to drop off pretty good into this bayou. probably going to be ganged up right there too. Ooh. So remember, same thing we always do. Drop that trolling motor, cover a lot of water, but once you find them, stay put and work on them. They're going to be all piled up in one spot. There's another one. I want to show you something. That's how low the water is. Look at that crab trap right there. And that's how low it needs to be to get on these reds ganged up like this right here. Now, the water is filthy because it fell the last 2 or 3 days with the big cold front we just had. When it's dirty water, I like to use our Vortex shads because they contrast and color real hard. That's our Purple Haze Vortex. I like the Spartacus a lot, which is a black with a chartreuse tail. And in the Matrix shad, the Tiger Bait's a good one. Catching reds, baby. Don't be looking for trout in conditions like this in this dirty water. This is redfish time. All right, got that Purple Haze on that 5/16 ounce jig head. I'm gonna show you just how easy this is. You're gonna ease into right where the flatty area meets the deep part. Probably going from 10 inches of water, about 2 foot. That's where they're hanging out. There's one. And what you want to do when you're fishing reds in the winter, if you're fishing with a friend, the moment you hit one, if you're going down a shoreline or something, they're always going to be bunched together. And you just tell your friend, hey, throw right there behind me. 9 out of 10 times, you're going to double up like this right here. Watch, I'm going to get this one in the boat. Get this pole out here in the same. They're going to be ganged up. They could be as big as a living room or as tightly quartered as a hula hoop, but they're going to be ganged up. I got them pretty dialed in right now. Surprised I didn't get one on that cast. Let's see. Two casted out one, pretty weird. I'm just throwing it up to that shallow water and just lightly dribbling it back to a little bit of deeper water right here. It might be on to us. A lot of times what will happen is once you pull 7 or 8 in a row, they'll slow down on you. A lot of times I go try another spot and just let them regroup and come right back to them. That might be what we have to do here. Just depends on how many reds are down there. Some days you catch 20 in a row, some days you get 5 in a row, got to leave them alone, let them regroup. Oh, there he was, right there. Look at that. He ate my whole lure off. That's pretty rare. Let's get another. Let me show you while I'm doing this how we thread these on. I get asked that a lot. You know, we take it for granted on some of the simpler things that we need to go over. You just gotta go right through the center of the head of the lure. It's going to pop out the flat part of the top. This is both for Vortex and Matrix. and then the tail's always going to be pointing down. And we made this matrix flat, that way it fits flush to any jig head. And that's what makes it look natural, especially for fishing with a jig head. A lot of these lures nowadays, they make the lure to where the eyeballs and the nose and it comes down to a fish face on the plastic itself. But if you're fishing with a jig head, which is what we do 9 out of 10 times, the jig head is going to be the head of the lure, where the lure is the body. So that's why we made the matrix and vortex flat. It just looks very, very natural up against any jig head. Let's see if I can get that one that just stole our lure from us. Grass down there, a little salad. Golly, that one was on. I didn't even jig it yet. Just so much fun when this happens. I don't know, some people call it Redfish Jubilee. Call it what you want, but there's one thing I can promise you. Anytime between the months of November and February, when you get rock bottom low water matched with cold temperatures, you're going to double up on redfish like we did right here today. There we go. This time of year, it gets a little bit harder and harder to catch speckled trout on a regular basis. But one thing I really like to do is, right after big Arctic cold fronts come through, water levels drop, I really enjoy targeting reds. You might have to fish for a long period of time and try a bunch of spots to find them. But once you find them, it's every cast. You can catch 20 in an hour. It's really fun. What you want to focus on most of the time, if it's really cold, you want to find man-made canals that are deep, which we have multiple DockSide TV episodes on that. It's not terribly cold. The water temperature today, the air is pretty cold, but the water's not too bad. It's in like the mid-50s. And what they're doing today is they're getting sucked out of these duck ponds behind us and getting drained into like the smaller Chernasses that feed them. All right, so this is our lure of choice right here, the Purple Haze. Got it on a 5/16 ounce jig head today, bullseye. Don't really need a 3/8 or a half in this situation, as this pond right here is only about a foot deep and it's meeting about a 6 foot bayou, so you don't need a lot of weight. Typically we like jigging. You could use a cork, might be able to help you, as dirty as the water is, but if the fish are on that drop off, the cork's gonna keep the lure above their head. Let's see what we can do right here. I'm gonna throw it out and it's just light dribble right back to the boat. You don't need to wait a long time for it to hit the bottom because it's not really deep right here. Oh, that was him. He popped it pretty good. Let me get it right back in there. Once you can find the little location they're at, they're going to be every cast. A lot of times it says perfect 2 to 5 pound reds. Perfect for the grill. Watch this. Got that one in. Gonna get it right back to where that fish was. Might be a little short. That stand might be a little short. That wind's blowing me off of where I caught it. You always want to be real careful when you're fishing reds in the winter though. Some places that you're used to that are typically 3 foot of water, you never have problems, might not have any water. As you can see with these crab traps right here, how low that water is. This duck pond right here, in the summertime, I float this with no problem all the time. Just easy as, so easy a caveman can do it. And that's what makes the fish, you know, like I said, I would get stuck if I try to get in that pond. That's what makes the fish get right here ganged up too, because they can't swim the gorge food correctly in that shallow water either. So they're gonna find what we call suction zones or choke points where the pond meets the first deep little ditch that they can find. But look, they're all cookie cutter size. We got 2 right here. Both on that purple haze. Again on a 5/16 ounce jig head. We got one. Let's get this one off. Another one. Oh, purple haze is deadly for redfish in the winter months. Ooh. Hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. Catching wintertime reds and low water. Make sure to subscribe to our DockSide TV channel. And if you want to get your hands on some purple haze and some 5/16 ounce jig heads, make sure to subscribe to our Matrix bait box. And come out here on a real cold day like we are today and get in on some redfish action like this. Until next time, good fishing.